Okay, so remember when FIFA promised that millions and millions of people would travel to the 2026 World Cup? And remember when hotels then jacked up their prices to capitalize? Well, in a stunning development, actually, nobody wants to pay $1,000 for a standard hotel room. And actually, the supposed World Cup boom is a bit of a myth. I'm Henry Bushnell, senior writer at The Athletic, and I've been reporting recently on how the influx of tourists that the World Cup was supposed to bring isn't really materializing here in the United States, or at least not yet. The American Hotel and Lodging Association released some data this week. They surveyed hundreds of members, and they reported that almost 80% of hotels in the host cities say that the pace of bookings for June and July, when the tournament will take place, is below their expectations. Now, there are several reasons for that. There are FIFA's ticket prices, of course, which have made this World Cup unaffordable for the vast majority of the world. There's also the perception that the US is unwelcoming to foreigners right now. But the hotels themselves are at fault too. Months ago, we at The Athletic looked at a sample of 6 hotels in each host city. We found that on average, they'd raised their rates for the World Cup dates by more than 300%. From less than $300 to more than $1,000 during the tournament. Now, months later, they've realized that they misjudged demand. When I recently checked those exact same hotels, the World Cup rates in the US had come down by more than 40% from those previous peaks. Of course, some international fans will still come to the World Cup. They found Airbnbs or cheap motels. They saved up for months or years because they absolutely love this sport. And even if millions don't come from abroad, there are millions of people living here in the US, but with roots in one of the participating countries. So the World Cup will have global flavor, but as one hotel exec told me, it is not the cornucopia that FIFA talked about.
I'm telling you this right now. By the time the World Cup hits, the US is going to lack any motivation to play in the tournament. Game 1 of 4 warm-up friendlies before we head to the World Cup, and we get absolutely waxed by Belgium, a Belgium side that's supposed to have fallen off. And the next 3 games don't get any better. I mean, we're going to be playing Portugal in a couple of days, and then Senegal, who a temper tantrum cost them from winning AFCON. So essentially, we're going to be playing the best African team. And then 6 days, a week from when we start group play of the World Cup, we play Germany. But I'm calling it right now, this US-Germany game is going to end something like 7-1 Germany. Like, they are going to have a field day with us. And morale for that at that point for the US is going to be at an all-time low. Just 6 days before we head into the World Cup. But genuine question, whose idea was this to have this be a warm-up schedule? Okay? I'm predicting 4 L's walking into the World Cup. We already know the mentality of these players down in the garbage. So how do you think they're going to feel coming off of 4 straight L's to enter the World Cup? They're going to be checked out. And honestly, I think this team is going to get grouped. I don't think they make it to the knockout stages, even though on paper, this group should be fairly easy for them to win. I mean, Paraguay, Australia, and then whoever gets the last spot between Kosovo and Turkey. But I don't think they make it out because they are not good as a team. And I feel like these teams, they're going to capitalize off of that. But these next few months, they're going to be something painful.
So the U.S. is not ready for the World Cup, to no one's surprise, and it's on multiple fronts. One of those fronts is that the U.S. government has yet to release the $600+ million it promised host cities for security, specifically. That lack of funding for security has made it so host cities are canceling their Fan Fest. And if you don't know what a Fan Fest is a free location that's open to the public with large screens for people to watch the games who don't have tickets to the game in a host city. It's an environment, it's exciting, you get to meet people, it's just a whole vibe. And that's supposed to be open for fans, but that's not going to happen because the government hasn't released the funding. The next front, our tourism is down. Our international tourism is down $12 billion since Trump has taken office. People are not willingly coming here nearly as much as they would. And therefore, the number of tourists coming for the World Cup is half of what was originally projected would be here. That's making it so hotels have to release rooms that they were holding for international tourists for the World Cup specifically to have to now put those rooms back on the market. And it's hard for them because now that those rooms have been held, they now have to tell all the websites and all the booking agencies, hey, these rooms are available again. Please put my room back up. So it's very frustrating for the hotels because the rooms they were holding, assuming they were going to get international tourists, now have to be put back on the market for more domestic tourism if it actually comes. The other issue is that Infantino decided to make the mistake of believing the lies. Infantino is a European who's living, I believe, in the Middle East, not understanding the reality of the United States, or he was lied to by the politicians here when they were figuring out who was going to host the World Cup between Mexico, Canada, and United States. Infantino was under the impression Americans would pay to see the World Cup. He was under the impression that we don't need the international market like we normally do in the US. He was wrong, and for multiple reasons. Number one, US fans do not care about football like that. We're not, or soccer rather. We're not soccer fans here. That's just fact of the matter. We are not major soccer fans here. Number two, the assumption that US have the money. Yes, the US is the richest country, but we are broke. We're like in Equatorial Guinea. We are broke. Okay, people are broke. People do not have money here in the States to spend on things like the World Cup. Okay, because they have to buy groceries and pay for gas, which is on the rise. So we don't get paid a lot of money. So the United States tourism for the World Cup is not going to be what Infantino assumed it was. This extends further. Even the rich people aren't coming. Right now, of the 104 games, there are still selective box booths, those rich booths where people pay a lot of money to have a nice little box to themselves. There's still 102 of the 104 games. There's still rooms available in 102 of them, meaning most of the games the rich people haven't booked those nice, beautiful skyboxes where they can watch the game comfortably, which is a big problem. Which means a lot of that revenue that's normally supposed to come for FIFA is not coming in for the games. This is on the fault of so many people on top, and this was so avoidable on so many levels. Had Trump not been attacking countries on the tariffs, had he not been verbally attacking countries, had he not attacked Iran, had Infantino looked at the reality and priced these games appropriately, there are so many things that could have been different that are probably, had they not gone with these ICE raids for no reasons and then kicking out people, now they're asking for 5 years of visitors online activity. This is giving North Korea, this is giving like control over everything. No one wants to go through that, especially being told that, oh, I spent thousands of dollars, but now I'm getting sent back home because I had a caricature of the US president as a baby. That's insane. I'm not wasting my money like that, and that's not something that should be happening in the US because we have freedom of speech. So all that being said, the US is not at the advantage with the World Cup like they thought they were going to be. I don't know what comes from it at this point. So the World Cup is going to be something. I just don't know if it's going to be any good. Y'all have a great day.
38,000 hotel rooms canceled so far for FIFA, the World Cup soccer. There's only 2 host cities that are doing semi-okay. Let's get into it. Do you know that these hotels and the organization spent 10 years on planning the FIFA World Cup here in the USA? 10 years, and it was ruined in less than 14 months. Look at this. Hotels on sale, dropping the price for the FIFA World Cup. This was going to stimulate billions of dollars in the US economy. I just want to let you know that tourism contributes $3 trillion a year in economic activity. $3 trillion. And we are taking a nosedive in tourism. No one is talking about what this is going to do to our economy, to hospitality, to restaurants, to people who survive in the travel industry. Now I want you to add 1930s Germany, and then now I want you to add the doubling of fuel costs. Who is coming here when they can watch this on TV or go to Mexico or Canada? Have you canceled your plans to come to FIFA World Cup, Or have you canceled your plans to come to the USA because of this current administration? Drop your comments below.
I have a feeling, and I could be wrong, but the World Cup is going to be a fucking disaster. New York and New Jersey have no clue what is coming. The closest thing the United States of America has to soccer fans are Bills fans, and they're like 1/6 of what a soccer fan is.
So one of my mates from England called me yesterday and was like catching up with me, asking about the World Cup. And I was like, mate, there is absolutely no buzz of the World Cup here in America. And I gave him a rundown of why not. First of all, ticket prices are in the thousands to even get to them. I live in Texas in a state that has a lot of matches, but I live in a city that is far away from the main hub of a lot of the matches. I'd have to get a hotel and a flight there and ticket, which would be about probably like $6,000. I told him I'd rather go to England for the summer for a couple weeks, beer gardens, vibes, be with people who actually know about the sport, who call it the right thing. It is football, not soccer. And also another thing about America is America's not even built for the World Cup. No one knows what the sport is. No one knows how many players on the pitch. No one knows what anything is of the sport at all. Gas prices in America are more expensive than a pint of beer. And then also the whole Epstein thing, our dumbass president, I don't even know what's going on. And it's just like, the World Cup is coming. The World Cup is the biggest spectacle in sports. And America's not cut out for it. Like, we don't have the right people in place for it. We don't have the right advertisement for it. We don't have the right mentality for it. We should never be hosting this big of an event for the world's biggest sport and the best sport in the world. And it just like, it's crazy. And it's going to be cheaper for me to go to England than go to an actual match here in America. That is so crazy.
The World Cup starts in 33 days. The U.S. will not be prepared. They're not acting like a country that's ready to host the largest international event in the history of the world. International travel demand is at an all-time low for a World Cup. It's not only weaker than it's expected, it is almost half of what is expected. Hotels in World Cup cities are saying foreign bookings are so soft they are releasing dozens of rooms that were blocked off for World Cup fans. Fans are looking at the U.S. and seeing visa delays, phone searches, social media vetting, travel bans, political hostility, and the very real fear that they could spend thousands of dollars to come to watch a soccer game and get treated like a suspect at the border. And now the Secretary of Homeland Security, Markwayne Mullins, is telling Congress and the world today that the World Cup preparations by the department in the federal government that's supposed to protect the homeland is not up to par. That they're not ready for the matches, that they're not ready for the hundreds of thousands of additional tourists and fans every single day. TSA says it's 4 to 6 months away from training new officers, and that's if they can get fully staffed today. The tournament starts in 33 days. Cyber and Infrastructure Security says that, well, their outreach has been limited because they were restricted by what they could do during the funding lapse. Customs Border Protection says they were unable to buy new equipment, vehicles, aircraft, surveillance systems, and intelligence tools, and the ones they have are now in maintenance or are otherwise negatively affected. DHS officials have said that coordination with state and local partners were hindered to the point that all of their planning efforts were reduced. And they still haven't paid out $625 million in security grants to the local municipalities. So let's be clear about this. The Trump administration wants the photo op of America hosting the World Cup. That's why they pursued it during his first administration. But his administration has made America look more hostile to visitors, chaotic at the border, unstable in Congress, and underprepared inside the very department responsible for keeping this event safe. You cannot sell the World Cup as a welcome mat while governing like every foreign visitor is a threat. And now everyone in the administration seems shocked that the world is not rushing to come here. So if you're planning on coming here for the World Cup, don't. It's not safe. Go to Canada. Go to Mexico. Go anywhere but the United States.
The FIFA Cup is going to be the detonator for the hantavirus pandemic. I fully believe that. That is my current working theory. I want it to be false so bad, but I just don't see it happening, right? Because here's the thing. They first said, don't panic. It's not super contagious. But now they've changed it and say, well, you have to have prolonged exposure. And now they have said, well, you have to be within 6 feet of somebody for at least 15 minutes or longer to possibly catch it. And I said to myself, and the FIFA Cup is in a month where people are going to be traveling from all across the world, from all works of life, on an airplane to come to these things. And depending on where you go, let's just say somewhere like England to New Jersey, you're going to be in close proximity of people for more than 15 minutes. You get what I'm saying? And if they don't know that they have it, or somebody has it and they're like, quickly it will spread. And you got it in different parts of the U.S. Some in Texas, some in Kansas, some in New York. Like it's very, very fast. It's going to spread if that happens. And I genuinely don't want it to happen because the mortality rate on that it's high. And what's really getting me from American standpoint, because I am American, if this is to happen, the CDC has basically came out and say, we have no plan of action. We have very little plan of action, which is not surprising when you have a government that is actively cutting it time and time again. Like the CDC is even more gutted before the first pandemic. Like if this happens, we are going to be in a world of hurt. And that's all I'm going to say on that.
New Jersey is about to get hit with 1 million visitors this summer for the 2026 FIFA World Cup. But nobody's asking the real question. Is Jersey even ready for that? I'm not even talking about the games. I'm talking about the traffic, the packed trains, the restaurants that'll be booked out. Imagine a normal busy summer day in Jersey and then multiply that, because that's how it's about to look. The games will be held at MetLife Stadium, and areas around there like Rutherford, Secaucus, Kearney are already densely populated. Now imagine thousands of extra people flooding in every day for 6 weeks. Don't get me wrong, it's a great thing too. More business, more exposure, and more money coming to the state. But at the same time, do we actually have the infrastructure that's prepared to host this many people? Be honest. Do you think Jersey's ready to take 1 million visitors this summer, or is it about to be absolute chaos?
Genuine question. Why should the World Cup be hosted in the USA this summer? Just picture this. It's 4 months before a World Cup in either Qatar, Brazil, South Africa, Russia. That host nation not only has instability in its own country, they're also engaged in a war with a whole region, attacking and bombing 2 capitals in that region simultaneously. What would the narrative be? What would the BBC be talking about? What would Sky Sports be talking about? What would all these broadcasters be talking about? It's unsafe, that it's an oppressive regime, that football can't stand for this and we can't get involved. Yeah, what's the topic? Should Iran be allowed to go to the World Cup? Should Iran be allowed to go? Believe me, I'm not surprised because I've seen this before. When Ukraine is being invaded, it's okay to mix football and politics, no problem. Banners, acts of support, which is completely fine. It's Palestine. Oh, no, we don't mix football and politics at all. Keep it out. Football stadium was just attacked in Iran not too long ago. I would love to hear FIFA's thoughts about that. Please, you know when a club is about to be bought out by a Saudi or a Qatari or someone from the Middle East, we have all these debates. Is it ethical? There are moral compasses all over the place. Should we allow it? Let's start having the same for foreign investment from the US as well, shall we? Because I never hear that. They're responsible for all of the above and more.
I'm tired of Georgia Transportation Department or GDOT or whatever you want to call it. Y'all knew the World Cup was coming. Damn it. Like, how long have y'all known that the World Cup was damn coming? Y'all knew. They're like, now all this last minute ass construction causing unnecessary ass traffic. Now y'all want to expand MARTA. What the fuck? Y'all should have done this years ago. But now, the exits I use every fucking day to get off, y'all constantly closing roads, blocking lanes, closing exits because y'all want to do this last minute ass construction. Y'all knew the World Cup was coming. And y'all decide to do this shit just months prior. The fuck is wrong with y'all? Y'all are so unorganized. Like, oh my God. And I can't imagine how bad traffic is gonna be when the World Cup starts because, we don't have no public transportation. MARTA only runs through 3 counties. And that's just for the buses. The bus lines only run through Clayton County, Fulton County, DeKalb fucking County. The train transit, the rails transit system only runs through Fulton County and parts of DeKalb County. When you got Cobb County, traffic is terrible in Cobb County. Like, MARTA should honestly be going all the way up to Cobb County, Gwinnett County, all the way down to Henry County, Fayette County, hell, even Newton County, Rockdale County. What the fuck are we doing? Now y'all want to repave all these roads that should have been repaved. You want to expand roads and shit. Y'all should have did this 10, 15 years ago. All the shit y'all are doing right now, y'all should have did this shit 10 years ago.